Hello, everybody. My name is James Anderson. I'm the dev manager for the NDR team. I'm going to be showing you how to install NDR in AWS. So the first thing that you'll want to do is get logged into your Central account. Once you're logged into Central, you'll want to go to the Threat Analysis Center, and then you'll want to go to the Integrations Marketplace. From here, scroll down to the Sophos NDR tile and click on it. And then we're going to add a configuration. So I'm going to name this AWS demo. You can name it whatever is appropriate to your environment, and we'll put today's date on it. So I'm going to select create a new appliance. And I'm just going to name it the same thing. Once again, you can name it whatever is appropriate for you. And then we're going to come down here to the platform, and we're going to select AWS. You'll notice that that no longer shows the IP address configuration settings. That's all going to be handled through AWS. So next we need to give an exclusion list name. Once you are satisfied with your names and descriptions and any exclusions you want to include, go ahead and scroll back up and click Save. And that should create your new integration. And it won't take as long as it does with the virtual images, but it will be grayed out at first. You want to do a refresh like I just did. And once the download image becomes available, select that. And it's going to download a JSON file. And this JSON file is a CloudFormation template that has all of the information required to set up your NDR sensor in AWS. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is you go to your AWS account, get logged in. Once you're logged in, then we're going to go to the AWS Marketplace. Go ahead and search for Sophos NDR. And you can see it right here. Go ahead and click on that listing. And you can see this is a bring your own license setup. There's no extra cost for doing AWS, just whatever AWS charges. We recommend that you use the C5N 2X large instance. That is a compute instance, and it's geared towards networking. And the 2X large has the required CPUs and memory for this to work the same way as a virtual sensor up to 1 gig or 4,500 connections per second. So we're going to go ahead and continue to subscribe. Go ahead and review terms and conditions, the EULAs, all that stuff. We're going to continue to configuration. And here you'll be able to pick software version. We only have one right now. We might only have one in the future, but if there's more than one, our recommendation is always to pick the latest software version. And then you want to pick the region that you want this to be installed in. For this video, I'm going to pick US West, North California. Once you've selected the version and the region, go ahead and say continue to launch. And then on this screen, you'll want to choose action, and you want to select launch CloudFormation and then launch. That will take you to the CloudFormation screen for your account. And once on this screen, we want to select upload a template file and then choose file. And we're going to select the one that we just downloaded here and go to next. So on here, we want to give our CloudFormation stack a name it whatever is appropriate for your environment. So the first thing we want to pick is what VPC would you like this sensor to be deployed in? You may have one or more, you might just have the one default. We have this test one set up that we use for demo and testing purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one here. And then after that, we want to select what subnets in that VPC we want to use for the different interfaces. So for the management interface, I'm going to pick this subnet here that has the ability to reach out publicly. For the syslog, I'm going to pick one that is limited to a private subnet. So anything on this one actually won't go out. Once again, whatever is appropriate for your environment, select those subnets. And then for the NDR span interface, we're not really picking this for the subnet per se, but we want to make sure that whichever one you select is able to communicate on the same subnet as the boxes you want to monitor, or at least can be accessed. So once we set up our interfaces, we want to select the security group that you want to apply to the management interface that will allow SSH. So we're going to pick that one there. This next one is the SSH key. And I'm going to pick that key. You probably want to have a key that's specific to this instance, and you'll want to have that set up before you get to this point. So now that we've made all of our selections and given our stack name, we're going to go to next. And feel free to add any tags you want to be able to track this, or if you need to make any adjustments here, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click next again. And I'm going to click submit. So this will start the process of setting up everything that's required to run NDR in AWS. Okay, so it could take a few minutes for everything to set up, but once it's complete, if you were to go to the resources tab, you should see everything created here that was set up for your NDR AMI. And you can see here it says create complete. So everything's ready to go there. If we go over to our EC2 and look at running instances, we can see that it's up and running. That's initializing. Just like the virtual machine, it's going to go through a first boot process, and then it's going to have to register with Central. So it can take a couple of minutes for this process to go through as well. So what we'll do is we'll head back over to Central here, and we'll go to the integrations configured. We'll switch over to the integration appliances. If you have lots of them, you might want to search for what you're looking for. We can see here it's in the downloaded state, so it hasn't registered yet. And you just kind of want to keep an eye on this. You might have to do some screen refreshes to track its status. But we want to see it be registered and then eventually turn green. So we'll do one refresh here. We could see now that the VM has registered and is connected. From this point, what we'll want to do is set up a traffic mirror session. So we're going to come back over here to AWS, and we're going to go to VPC, and then we're going to scroll down to the bottom here where we have our traffic mirroring stuff. You can set up a traffic mirroring filter if you would like. And what these filters do is they allow you to maybe limit your traffic mirroring to specific protocols, source destination ports, CIDR blocks, things like that. So if you don't want to filter every single thing, then setting up a rule like this can be helpful. And then our CloudFormation script will set up your span target for you. When it creates that interface, it'll use that to create this target. So all you have to do is come in here and create a traffic mirror session and map that source to the target. Unfortunately, within AWS, these sessions have one source and one target. So our recommendation is if you have some sort of firewall in your environment that all of your AWS traffic is being bottlenecked through, then use that as your source so that you get all of the data. Otherwise, you'll just need to set up each one of these sessions for each instance that you want to monitor. So let's give this a name, give it a description if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the source port. And then I'm going to pick the target, which is our NDR span target. Once you've picked your source and target, then you want to give your session a number. The numbers cannot exist on multiple sessions, so you'll need to make sure you know what the next one is. It says here you can have quite a few of them. So we're going to set ours to 1. The VLAN ID needs to be a 1. Don't need to do anything for packet length. And go ahead and select your filter. And once you've done that, hit create. So that will create your traffic mirroring session. I have a test box that's just running some web traffic in the background. So we should be able to see that when we go and look at the appliance manager. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to log into the appliance manager. And to be able to do that, come back to Central and click on the menu here on the right. And we're going to go to Open Appliance Manager. This should already know what the address is for your AMI instance. And the only thing you'll need to do is you'll need to perform a password reset. This is set up with a password that nobody knows. There's no way to access it. We do that for security reasons because your CloudFormation script is just a clear text JSON file. So go ahead and click reset, and that's going to give you your password for the appliance manager. So you want to copy that, and then you make sure you store that securely. Now I'm going to click open here, and you'll notice that it's not going to work. And that's because we haven't done anything to set up the access in the security group to allow traffic to come to the appliance manager. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here, go to EC2. We're going to come down to our security groups here. And you'll notice there's some security groups that were created by the CloudFormation template. And the one that we'll want to edit is this management security group. Click on that and go to inbound rules, and we want to edit inbound rules. And we want to add a rule, custom TCP, and we're going to put in the port for the appliance manager, and then put in your IP address. I'm going to select my IP so it already automatically picks it, and then save rule. So now when I come back and I click open, it takes me right to it. And we'll go ahead and accept the certificate, and it's going to load the appliance manager, and we're going to sign in. So you can see here it's already going. CPU's usage is going because we're already capturing packets. You can see here, just like on a VM, with 8 cores, we have 3 cores that are being used for packet capture. You can see the disk usage, memory usage. You'll notice up here, we have the name of our instance, and then cloud deployment is set as yes. So we're detecting that this is a cloud deployment. And you can see up here that it's connected to Central, and the internal API is functioning appropriately. So we'll go here to the NDR tab. And you can see here, it's not much, but we do have some flows going through. So it is capturing, it is seeing traffic. And that is how you set up your appliance. The other thing you can do here is come to NDR query if you want. You can look at these query examples. We can see how many connections it's seen so far. Looks like it's 0 at the moment. All right, that's everything.